F5 Navigating the AI Era for Cyber Resilience and Data Privacy in association with Moneycontrol.
Hello and welcome to this special presentation titled F5 Forum Navigating the AI Era for Cyber Resilience and Data Privacy. I'm your host Gautam Srinivasan, and joining me in a conversation that will span cloud cost efficiencies, security imperatives, the AI factor, reducing complexity, and data localization are a galaxy of technology and security leaders from a range of enterprises. Let me quickly introduce you to our lineup of speakers, starting with Dhananjay Ganju, Managing Director for the India and SAARC region at multi-cloud application services and security company F5 Networks. Next up is Vishal Pranjale, Vice President of Cybersecurity at cloud managed services provider Cloud4C. Also with us is JP Dwivedi, Chief Information Officer at the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center. And joining in is Vineet Sinha, Director for Cybersecurity SME at Payments Processing Leader MasterCard. And finally, we have with us Bal Mukund, Group Vice President for the Digital Business Support System at Mobility Solutions Leader Comviva. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It is a wide-ranging conversation, so to make it simple, we'll go topic by topic. And since we are talking about the power of the cloud, first of all, and of course, securing that power to bring out a host of innovations for enterprises, let's start things off with cloud cost efficiencies. And Vishal, I'll come to you first for this question on efficiency specifically, because as an end-to-end cloud managed services provider that operates in multiple countries, I want to know from you, how do you ensure the efficiency of your operation, particularly when it comes to this aspect of cost reduction? Your thoughts on this, Vishal?
Thank you very much, Gautam. Regarding the cost efficiency, and I would say it's a cost optimization and not the cost reduction. But definitely, we are trying to do some experimentation for cost optimization, specifically into cybersecurity area. Since I'm coming from cybersecurity and overall cloud security aspects, if you look at our overall portfolio, so we as a Cloud4C, we provide services to India, Middle East, and Southeast Asian countries across all the customers for all the domains, be it banking, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, and other domains. So the cost optimization is very much important factor, and with now AI coming in picture, we are doing some experimentation how to optimize it. Just to give you a simple example, like previously, let's say if we want to block an IOC indicator of compromise in around, let's say, 400 to 500 firewalls, it was a manual exercise, and I had to depend on the resource to do that. It was a time consuming cost, of course, impacting on the entire cost of the project as well. Now with AI, we have automated it to the fullest. Whenever any alert is coming in our cybersecurity tools, in our SIM, it is automatically getting blocked at all the firewalls, reducing the free time for the team members, and that is at the in turn giving us more edge on the cost, because the person can work on some of the other privilege activities and utilize his time in a more efficient way. So this is one of the aspects. There are some other aspects which we are using for the cost optimization, like having a very standardized processes across the projects using AI to reduce the multiple task or a manual task over a period of time and automating it. So we have a full-fledged automation team to do that, and that is giving a good results in the overall cost optimization. So though I would say it's very early stage for us to experiment, but we are moving in the right direction, and definitely it would provide us a large or ample opportunity for the cost optimization. So that's my 2 cent, Gautam, on this.
All right. And those are key points because standardization of processes and, of course, the automation aspect, it also leaves the bandwidth for technology and security leaders free to actually focus on their job and secure the perimeter for their enterprises. Let's take this conversation forward from an enablement perspective. And Dhananjay, let me bring you into this to talk about the enablement perspective. When we talk about these cloud cost efficiencies, how do you think multi-cloud application services like F5 have ensured easy accessibility and availability of its products while not compromising on its efficiency? Because we are in an always on era, whether it's the customer and whether it's the enterprise. So the availability of apps for the customers, that needs to be paramount, but at the same time it needs to be secured as well. Your thoughts on this?
Absolutely, Gautam. Thanks for having F5 on your show today. In terms of our SaaS offering or a platform offering that we have for WAF and API protection primarily, the packaging that we have done, whether the solution is deployed on a private data center or the solution is across public cloud providers or any other hypervisor environment, the efficiency, efficacy, feature remains the same. Syntax remains the same. So there is no relearning that is required if you're traversing various hypervisor environments. That's one. The second and another important point is around orchestration, right? If you want to orchestrate any services across any cloud provider or your own DC, the customer has a choice of either selecting the console that we have, or we can also integrate with an automation platform the customer will already have, such as Terraform or something else similar to Terraform using APIs. So that's the second. And third is around some advanced controls, right? Using machine learning to detect malicious intent and then auto mitigate these threats, typically DDoS, bot, and some malicious payloads that the customers might be seeing. So I believe these are the three things that we are very razor focused on when we are traversing cloud environments.
Absolutely. And the flexibility is absolutely key, especially when you look at delivering the promise of the cloud for enterprises to be flexible enough and agile enough in terms of serving their customers. Let's take the conversation forward from there on. JP, let me bring you in because Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center is one of India's premier cancer centers that offers the unique advantage of cutting edge technology. So I want to know from you, how do you ensure its efficient operation and accuracy?
Thank you so much for bringing me in this conversation, and very happy to share dais with the learned co-speakers, co-panelists. So yes, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute has been using cutting-edge technology for several years, and we have reaped immense benefits from it. See, as we are going for electronic health record, more and more information is now available in digital form. It is absolutely important that we secure it properly. So without going into specific details, I will tell that we have deployed range of solutions to ensure the security of information, and cloud is not the only solution. I will say it has to be an intelligent mix of the on-premise and cloud, as the cost components ensure that we do not overdo it and we do not underdo it. So we use the infrastructure, we use the services, we use products and tools and processes, and use best mix of that. For example, we have deployed security operations center with another company's command center because they have expertise in it. At the same time, we have our on-premise data center here because we know that the heavy images that come in to and fro manner really consume a lot of bandwidth, and it will not be efficient from the display perspective. So we keep all those servers here inside, and that is how we have done an intelligent mix and match to make sure that we give best experience to our doctors, users, and the patients at the same time.
All right, an intelligent mix and match of technology to deliver top-notch experienced patient. And we are in, especially when we look at the healthcare space, we are in an era of the continuum of care, as they call it. So technology works in the service of delivering positive outcomes to a lot of the patient problems which arise. So it's great as to how institutes are taking the lead in leveraging the power of the cloud and securing it to deliver those experiences. Let's bring in a payments provider and see what they have to say on this topic. Vineet is with us. Vineet, I want to understand from you, there is this aspect of efficiency, but when we take the conversation forward, especially when we look at security imperatives, how does MasterCard leverage AI to address evolving cybersecurity threats and ensure robust cybersecurity protocols?
Absolutely, Gautam. Thank you for having me here. I think you have touched upon one of the very, very critical aspect, artificial intelligence, and I think it's a buzzword that everybody is talking about. And obviously, as an organization of our scale, which is spread across more than 200 odd countries, managing over like 18 petabytes of data, handling sensitive information on not only from the card perspective, but also the individual user's perspective. So it is very, very important for us to ensure that our security controls are on the top. And obviously, if you look at the manual effort, obviously it is very, very difficult in most of the aspects to manage such a large infrastructure on the ground using the manual effort. And that's where we have leveraged artificial intelligence technologies which have been embedded not only from the product which we have procured from our vendors or partners who are servicing us, but also we have built in our own set of solutions which are being built using the artificial intelligence technologies to help us in terms of really managing some of these pieces. I'll just take one of the example. Obviously, when you talk about penetration testing or vulnerability assessment, right, uh, you will see that having such a large infrastructure, obviously there could be some errors which could be caused because of the human effort, right? Uh, we do appreciate that the human effort is definitely required, but given that the AI has been there, right, it has helped us in terms of doing some of those analytical based testing, which is much more easier using the artificial intelligence technology. But from a human aspect standpoint, when it comes to the context based testing, obviously that is where we rely more on the human effort. So obviously it's a mix of both artificial intelligence and human. But yes, given that the technology solves some of your issues, obviously, but it also has some of its own challenges. Now, one of the other challenge that I would definitely like to talk about is that the models that have been designed, right? Even if there is not plenty of data available, still artificial intelligence is going to produce that result. But that's where the challenge starts. Is it scalable? Is that reliable? Again, based on organization to organization, they have to also see how they are leveraging these technologies in their day-to-day operation and how the outcome is helping the organization in terms of achieving some of those aspects. So both pros and cons, but yes, obviously that is definitely helping us.
Absolutely. And it is an important point that you mentioned that it's not one size fits all, especially when we talk about scalability and reliability. Bal, let me get you into the conversation considering we are in the smartphone era, and to get your response when we talk about security imperatives, considering the critical nature of, say, mobile finance and customer management solutions. I want to understand from you, how does Comviva Technologies prioritize and ensure robust data security measures to protect sensitive information and maintain the trust of telecom operators and end users alike? Can you highlight any innovative approaches or technologies employed in this regard?
Yeah, thanks, Gautam. I think being a product company, securing our customers' data is key to build the get the confidence of a telecom operator. So, what all our product ensures this end-to-end data encryption. So, when we produce any customer sensitive information that are getting encrypted right from the origination, and then it is getting decrypted only where the other application looks for. Then there is a on the at the transport layer, we also ensure that the data is securely transported to the medium. then there are enough tokenization which is ensuring that tokens at every click we ensure that tokens are valid, and even the checksum of the applications are not tempered. And then utilizing that secure APIs, uh, so that there is no gap in between from that data transportation from the mobile app to that last mile servers where the processing happens. So these are the security measures we are doing to ensure that applications are fully secured and data are getting transported securely with the medium.
Well, we'll continue that conversation on the security aspect, and let me get in Dhananjay for his point of view. Dhananjay, I believe FI has launched its first 2 points of presence in India in December 2022. So I want to understand from you what's going to be the impact of this expansion on India's digital journey.
Sure. There, the first impact is that when we have the points of presence in India, and these are not simple points of presence that we have spun up in a on a public cloud provider. We are not using someone else's compute or someone else's storage or someone else's orchestration layer. We have taken a cage, and we have our own technology. We are only using power, space, and connectivity from the colo provider, but this is our own POP. That's extremely important to know. Um, Secondly, and I'll expand more on this as we go along further. So we meet the data protection laws in terms of restricting the traffic within the four walls of the country. But however, interestingly enough, data protection laws is just one of the laws that we have. Then we have a set of laws from SEBI. We have another laws of from the regulator, banking regulator, RBI. We have another set of laws from TRAI that are either repeating what the DP laws are saying or adding to the DP laws. So we'll talk about that a little later. Secondly, the biggest impact, of course, is performance. When we have local points of presence, we provide better performance, low latency in terms of the services that we are offering from the SaaS platform. And then I believe one of the most interesting use cases, attacks, cyber attacks happen when you expose your web assets to the internet. What if your web assets were not exposed to the internet? So we have a use case whereby an application may connect to our POP, and they may directly, uh, uh, connect to the POP, and thereby we may not expose the public IP to that application and hence protect them in a very unique fashion. So if the customers are working off their DC or they're working off any other cloud provider, we may sit in the middle without assigning a public IP to the application, thereby protecting them in a very unique way. These are some of the things that we bring to fore, other than a lot of functionality and feature set.
Absolutely, and that could be useful considering that the interface, the fact that you are in the middle to ensure that the public IP is not known, it enables your customers to be secure in the fact that they are not being exposed to a vast threat vector. Well, let's take that forward. And Vishal, let me bring you back in, considering Cloud4C is primarily known for its robust cloud platform that is backed by military-grade cloud security tools. So could you share your insights on these mechanisms and why do you think they're significant?
Thanks, Gautam. I think it's a very relevant question. When we talk about the difference between the on-prem and cloud on the cloud premises, of course, with cloud, it provides a lot of agility to the customers in managing their infrastructure and information. They can spin up the large number of infra within no time with cloud. However, along with that, there are a lot many unforeseen security risk which customer need to deal with as against the on-prem environment. Now, if you are using the SaaS tools and overall for cloud security, so of course they need to share their infrastructure and information along with the other customers. Mainly, if you look at the public clouds like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, definitely it would be in a multi-tenancy mode, and it is mainly from a control point of view, the only main control what they have through the contracts. So that becomes very much important to manage the overall information security aspects. Now, when we talk about the cloud security, the new uh, the new threats for the cloud security, how are we managing the cloud security posture? Whether whatever services we are taking from the cloud service provider, are they secure enough? How our information is getting maintained at the cloud service provider end? Because typically the customers will not have the visibility on their data and on their infrastructure at the cloud service provider end. So it becomes very much imperative to check on that. So from cloud security requirement perspective, I think the cloud security posture management, it's very much important to check on a timely basis. Plus identity and user access management, because how the users are accessing the cloud services, how securely they are accessing, and in case if they do not have a proper or enough controls in place, then what kind of data exfiltration they can have. So these are very basic security hygiene controls, but it is very much important in the cloud security environment as well. The logical separation in between different customers, that becomes one of the key aspects in managing your information securely. And as Mr. Dhananjay also mentioned regarding this, how you are maintaining the data in, like, within the four walls of the country. So I would like to bring this point about the data localization, because many customers will have this requirement as well. So though they want the cloud security advantage, but at the same time they need the data to be hosted in specific countries. So we need to look at that aspect as well. So I think with the standard cybersecurity controls, these are some of the key points which you need to take care of when we are talking about, specifically talking about the cloud security aspects.
Absolutely. A holistic approach to cloud security, and for technology and security leaders, it's always a tightrope walk when we look at latency and availability, and of course, security. You have to make sure that all the pieces are in place. But let's see how the tightrope walk is done the right way. JP, let me bring you in for that. If you can share some of the data security policies and mechanisms that you have in place, and also to understand how do you maintain data privacy considering the sensitivity of data that you're dealing with.
Absolutely. So, we are as secure as our weakest link is. Having the best tools and products in place does not ensure security. Assuming that cloud provider will provide me the necessary security is also, it is not the correct assumption. It is just like a crude example I'll give. The best lock in the world you put, but you forget to put on the latch. The intruder will come and just one single kick door is open. So, security awareness, education, policies in place, and enforcement of policies simultaneously inside the organization and up to the server and storage is absolutely necessary. So our security policy should render to all the layers. This is not the era where network level security will help us. We need to go all the way up to the application layer and the highest layer of the usage. Data security needs to be ensured at the user endpoint level, at the communication line level, firewall level, and up to the server and storage level. So there are a few things that basic principles that we need to take care of. Number one, the awareness and education, telling continuously, reinforcing that users are not using the links, URLs, not clicking anywhere that can lead them to a place where they can be in danger. Second is, even if such a behavior occurs, how quickly, how promptly our monitoring tools are in place to capture such occurrences and contain any damage. Number three, make sure that we have all the consents from the data principals, so that we are using data to what extent, what purpose, what intent, and how long the data will be kept with us. That is very necessary now, in light of the latest laws that are coming in place. Then making sure that in case any breach happens, we comply with the disclosure commitments, and tell or inform the authorities and the data principal of any breaches. So all these things should be covered under security incident and event management framework. We should have necessary tools like security orchestration and automation of the response. We should have intelligent behavior analytics, behavior of the entity and the users, all those things covered with a very solid bundle of tools, processes, behaviors, practices all together, and having a solid program management team to make sure that we continuously keep building on it, because these paradigms will keep changing. Plus our response mechanism has to be robust.
You have to keep evolve the defenders have to keep evolving, especially considering the attackers are evolving themselves, and those are some of the important best practices that JP has shared. Dhananjay, maybe we can get your response to the best practices that JP has shared and Vishal have shared, your thoughts on that from an enablement perspective when it comes to cybersecurity.
Sure. If you allow me, I'll take you back 200 years, and JP sir made a very pertinent point in terms of application security and its importance. So, 200 years ago, organizations measured their capital or the balance sheet in terms of physical assets that they had. You had buildings, you had machineries, you had present across multiple continents and countries, and the bigger and heftier you are physically, the bigger and better your balance sheet looked. That was the era of physical capital. In the mid 1900s, 20th century, human intellect, companies like HP, IBM, McKinsey, these guys changed the way we work. They bought in compute, they bought in business process reengineering, and the whole business became faster, made our lives a little easier. That was an era of human capital. And to JP sir's point, today, if an application of any industry, any vertical, were to be down even for couple of seconds, the whole business flops. And the first thing that happens is Twitter goes viral, and the CEO gets to know about the outage from Twitter before they can find out the outage from somewhere else. So we are currently living in an era of application capital. And application, I believe, are the crown jewels that need to be protected, because cyber threats are coming not on your front door, they're coming on your front door that you need to defend. But after breaking, they don't want your front door. They have nothing to take away from your front door. They have everything to take away from the application, whether that is records, whether that is PII data, whether that's financial transactions. So application assets protection is probably the biggest a troubled statement in front of CISOs and CIOs today. And there are various layers, again, that one can define in terms of how to protect applications. And for the last 26 years, what F5 has been doing is protect and make those applications available. Did that help?
Absolutely. And considering we live in a time where customers are very verbose, and in case your application has downtime, they will hit social media, they will let you know. And application asset protection then becomes paramount for today's enterprises if they have to deliver top-notch customer experience. Point taken, Dhananjay. Now, any conversation in this aspect, we can't leave AI behind. We touched upon it earlier. Bal, let me bring you in for a more detailed analysis. If you can elaborate on how Comviva Technologies leverages artificial intelligence within its mobile finance and customer management solutions, and if you can share specific instances where AI integration has proved instrumental in improving, say, operational efficiency, elevating user experience for telecom operators, and of course, the security aspect as well. Your thoughts on this, Bal?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, at Comviva Technologies, we have built this as a pipeline, the CI/CD. We are taking care of that continuous testing also. CT as another leg between this, and we see that AI because it is now buzzword today, but at Comviva we have started this practice in 2019, where we have the AI ML practice within Comviva takes care of that, uh, like predictive analysis, sentimental analysis. We have started in 2019-20, where we are reading all these customers' feedback, their likes, dislikes, and accordingly we do the sentiment analysis, and then our products and offerings, which is like marketing focus. So we have a consumer value management, which focuses on customers' behavior and then increase that customer retention. So those AI practices we already follows. At customers, we have roughly around 300 AI ML models already running, where we are continuously improving those models to give a better results. Then in next, we are using that AI ML to generating our product document, API documentations, user guides. So these are the next things where that AI is helping us to improving or generating our these documents which is required or we supply to the end customer as a product company. The other areas which we see is more towards AR, VR, and that voice and NLPs, where even that things is going to be next big for Comviva.
All right, indeed. We've just scratched the surface. Lots more possibilities coming about. Now, to take the conversation forward, I also want to explore how we can reduce complexity in the times that we are in, considering your attack surface has exponentially expanded. We are in a multi-cloud world. Maybe, Vishal, we can get you in for your thoughts, because Cloud4C, being a community cloud platform, is built for various industries. So I want to understand from you, how different is your approach when you cater to the BFSI and fintech sector, particularly when it comes to the avenue of data security, since these sectors remain highly sensitive to data breaching?
Very, very valid question, Gautam, again, because BFSI and financial sector, as everybody is aware, they have the rigorous regulatory requirements. And considering they deal with the financial information, of course, it is a known target for all the cyber attackers. We serve many financial services companies as part of Cloud4C services. And of course, for them, the data security or cyber security comes first, along with the regulatory and compliance requirement. As again, Mr. Dhananjay also mentioned, so they have this say SEBI requirements or RBI requirements for Indian customers. Same goes for the other location customers. They have their regulatory requirements with respect to cyber security. So cyber security is a very prominent and important aspect when it comes to the BFSI sector. Now, when we talk about the overall cybersecurity controls, as you know, it's not a one-stop shop what we have. We need to work on the defense in depth, and it's a multiple layers of security which we need to adopt, starting from perimeter level till the end user laptop or desktop level. So again, when we talk about the cyber security and split it into three different pillars, I would say. So people, process, and technology. So we need to have a right technology or right set of tools. Again, using AI, ML, and which can orchestrate and can find out the incidents in a more faster way, can do the automation and reduce the overall incident analysis time. Then we need to have a right set of processes in place to manage the overall cybersecurity controls. And at the end, as Mr. JP sir also mentioned, people is the weakest or strongest link when it comes to cybersecurity. So we need to make sure that we are educating the people on a continuous basis to deal with the cybersecurity attack, because one person clicking on one phishing link and it can create a havoc in the entire organization. So it's not one technology or one tool or one process. It's mix of all the technologies and tools, right set of, I would say, technology tools, then process related controls and people centric controls, which we need to imbibe in the overall culture to manage the BFSI segment cyber security aspects.
All right, point taken there, Vishal. Let me get JP to comment on that. When we talk about people, process, and technology, we need to make sure that we're hitting all the right targets. So, JP, your thoughts on this? Because Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center has built a robust IT infrastructure in terms of your server room setup, network upgrade, virtual servers, virtual desktops, etc. So, the benefits when you get people, process, and technology in order, when you tick all the right boxes. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So it is people who do the job, and it is process that is being followed. Technology is assisting set of tools that helps accelerating things. One British colleague of mine around 20 years back, he just casually told me, India is a wonderful country. Your only problem is you are too many. So actually there is a demand. There is demand everywhere. We need efficiency. And efficiency cannot come with processes only. Right processes with appropriate technology and right people who are skilled in using that technology. This combination is very important. So we need to continuously focus on developing people, keeping them abreast with the latest trends, giving them regular refresher courses, and tracking that people are really taking keen interest in updating, upskilling themselves. Then reviewing technology continuously, whether 1 year back that technology was very effective, is it still effective or not? Then continuously reviewing our processes also, because process efficiency also keeps changing with advent of newer technologies. Sometimes there is a good feedback, so latest technology brings into updated processes also, and people also need to be skilled, reskilled continuously. So there is a combination that really provides feedback one into other, and this is a kind of network architecture of the people, process, technology, very well embedded, well oiled mechanism working together.
Absolutely. Bal, let me get you comment on that, because people, process, and technology, when they are done in the right way, it enables a more proactive response to issues. So, to understand from you, with the increasing frequency of cyber threats, how does Comviva Technologies proactively address and mitigate potential risks to data security in its mobile solutions and reduce complexity in the process? Are there any specific protocols or partnerships in place to stay ahead of evolving cybersecurity challenges in the telecom industry?
Absolutely. Just to add, uh, the people is one part which JP sir talks about. Now coming to being a technology company, how do we ensure that our products, mobile app or web applications are adequately secured, especially in terms of mobile app where that reverse engineering or that routing of that mobile, these are the challenges which we faced from the market. And for that we partnered with the company called Guard Square, which actually gives additional layer of security, which actually help in protecting mobile app from somebody doing the reverse engineering or routing the mobile device to do some tweaking on that mobile app. So we are by default supplying this additional uh, security measures with all our mobile applications which is getting deployed in the market.
All right. Now we are almost out of time, so tying up some loose ends in this conversation, especially in the data localization aspect. Dhananjay, I want to bring you in for your thoughts on this because the new offerings that FI embodies are characterized by features like web app and API protection solutions, advanced WAF, which is web application firewall technology, and of course bot management solutions. So, what benefits do you think these are likely to usher in, and how do such features improve the cybersecurity landscape?
Sure, Gautam, pertinent question on data localization, data protection. Interestingly enough, data protection laws that became a bill last year is silent on, or it allows data to be exported out of the country, contrary to popular belief. Yes, you can take data out of the country. It is silent on which country can you take it out to, and they said they would, announce that a little later. And I believe when they refer to data, it could be metadata, not PII data. So that's left to interpretation as well. But the other regulators, the banking, the SEBI, the TRAI, they're pretty clear on where they want data residency to happen. However, there is also another challenge. When people talk about artificial intelligence that needs to look at the amount of metadata that is collected to take advanced decisions to provide better security, those AI engines cannot be replicated in 190 countries. It's impossible. It's cost prohibitive for any SaaS provider to replicate AI engines across each country. So AI engines remain central. Metadata goes to the AI engine and gets treated and comes back with more pertinent information to tackle issues at hand in those local geographies. That's on just the localization bit. But what we also do in each country is we put honeypot servers just to understand because each country attracts different kinds of attacks. So over the years that we have put honeypot servers in India just to get a sense of the signatures which are coming in, we've seen a massive rise in volumetric attacks and simple mitigation techniques such as geoblock, IP block, they are ineffective. You need to use some machine learning assisted platforms to be looking at the traffic, identifying the intent, and selectively blocking bad traffic. So volumetric attacks in India are on the rise. And again, contrary to popular belief, where people think that bad actors from countries outside of India are attacking India, no, most of the attack is local. Now, this could be because we have compromised laptops, compromised, 70% of the attacks that we noticed on a particular government institution was Android devices, 3.7% were iPhones. Of course, unbeknown to the owner of these devices, they are being used as mules to launch an attack. Could be a DDoS, could be volumetric, could be other attacks. The second and very interesting conversation and very popular conversation these days is around API and API protection. It is extremely difficult to keep track of without using tools. How many APIs that an organization has deployed and are they using? Hence, API discovery, shadow API protection. APIs deal with sensitive data. Today, when you use a phone, say a financial app, and you allow the financial app to go to your bank and get your credentials from the bank and get your balance from the bank, it's an API doing that transaction between the mobile app, the fintech app, and your bank. That's sensitive information that needs to be protected and encrypted. So, providing API protection, discovery and protection and mitigation is extremely important. Third is alert optimization. We don't, 90% of the traffic on HTTPS is bot. But not all the bots are bad bots, right? They're good bots too. So we need to reduce false positives, and how F5 uses machine language to reduce false positive is one of our features. And lastly, I've talked about very, very sophisticated bot attacks. Now, these bot attacks are able to deal with JavaScript challenges. So applications have JavaScript challenges built into them, and they are easily able to defeat those JavaScript challenges or defeat a CAPTCHA, for example. That's probably the easiest thing for sophisticated bots to do. And they may appear from different places at different times, and it's extremely difficult to keep up with them. So our managed services consistently updates these threat intel signals to arrest such morphing bots. So um, I would like to say that cybersecurity is not about a product. Cybersecurity is a product and a team behind that can understand and effectively use that product rather than um, you know, just by buying a product won't help unless and until there are intelligent people behind that product that are using it effectively to provide you that layer of security. Gotham.
Absolutely. And in this era of the always on customer, the more open we are, the more secure we need to be. On that note, though, it's time to conclude our special presentation titled F5 Forum Navigating the AI Era for Cyber Resilience and Data Privacy. I'd like to thank all of the panelists for joining in this conversation and, of course, sharing their insights on the topic. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Till next time, this is your host, Gautam Srinivasan, signing off. Have a great day.
F5 Navigating the AI Era for Cyber Resilience and Data Privacy in association with Moneycontrol.